What up? What up? What up? This is Mike, the philosopher, along with Tamara. What's up?
Hello. Hello.
Hey, now this was uh, an emotional RTL. Do you
For
think?
me, it was. For
For
me, it
you, it
was.
was okay. Yeah. So, a lot of things were finalized in this last episode, but since I'm a gentleman, I will let you start and tell us about what you think about this last episode and some of the men.
Yeah. So, of course, Clifton has been my number one from day one. And
Hmm.
him expressing like the distance and, explaining that he's a person that likes to touch and likes to be
I said that
around.
last week, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean it's good to know yourself. And hopefully I feel like they can financially support each other in meeting or him coming going out there from time to time. But I'm sure her lifestyle and the music business is pretty busy. But
Hmm.
you kind of got to open up your mind to I just come for 24 hours and then I'll leave. You to me, those things are very, very meaningful, and I hope they can work that part out. But him being very honest, and Clifton's probably the one of the most vulnerable, honest men on the show, and
Mm.
not even in a, is to use Mike's term, simp way, in a very strong man way, because
I,
you can
I
be
agree.
be
I
honest
agree.
with your feelings without being soft.
I
Um,
agree. And that's
Even
and
if
that's
it's soft feelings, I mean, there's nothing soft about expressing the way you feel,
mhm.
and so again, just he won all kinds of cute, cool points, and I loved his. And what really got it for me and started the waterworks was, "Would you be my
The
girlfriend?" Circle
sign.
yes or no, because that is me. I have a lot of situationships. I love a lot of men that love me
Hmm.
back. We are not a couple until you officially ask me. We don't default become a couple. We don't default become monogamous. I need you to ask me,
Right.
and be
Right.
intentional, show your intentions and choose me, which is really important. So
Right.
I love that about him. He got that 100% right. And I think even for us independent, strong women, to have a man choose you and you not just end up together because y'all been together, right?
Right. Right.
It breaks down a lot of that, because that's ultimately what people want. They want to be seen, they want to be chosen.
Mm.
So that
Bars.
was, so I'm probably gonna be in a real different kind of mood today, because my heart is all sensitive and I feel like we should be talking in love,
Right.
today.
Right. Right.
Um, so that's Clifton
Okay.
and Joy, and then her tearing up. I think that also, I think I cried about 3 times in that episode
Wow.
when she was talking to her sister, because that's when I knew she loved this guy,
Mm.
right? And
She said
I
that
was,
word too. It came out.
yeah, just kind of think she's like, this is real. And I kept thinking, are you gonna cancel work? I mean, is it that real to you? And because I could tell she's thinking it. She's thinking, okay, I know I got this thing going on. This is my profession, but this thing right here is real. And this is what I want to go through life with this person.
Hmm.
And it's worth a shot, right? And so that was really sweet. And that's when the first time I cried, when I saw her tearing up. And then,
Hmm.
of course, the second time when they were at dinner, and then it was cute when she's like, "Yeah, I can't wait to have sex with you." Yeah, y'all know my theory; they've been smashed. I ain't trying to hear it,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
I really did also love her being honest about that. Like, yeah, we getting it in. We consummating this situation
Right.
a
Right.
lot before I go. So that, I thought that was cute too. So
Hmm.
Clifton, um, Donovan has grown in my eyes, because I just thought he was funny looking when he first came on the show, but I
Hmm.
think his body has won me over. Um, he has a really nice body.
Is that
Um,
amazing?
huh?
Wow. His body is that amazing?
His body look good to me. It's
Okay.
big.
Oh,
It's
oh.
I mean it's big. It's like big shoulders, and so
Mm.
for me I like that in a man.
Okay.
And he you know he legitimizes Carmen for me, because she's not my favorite girl.
Mm.
But I think they could have a possibility. I really like that he had a trip. I was like, see, I need me one of these kind of men. That's like,
Right.
we're gonna go somewhere, and we don't know wherever you want to go, we're gonna figure it out, but we're gonna go spend some time together off camera, outside of this process, and see what this really is. And so I appreciated that about him. And her dad, oh my God. I appreciated him being honest. Because see, here's the thing. See, I'm not one of those people that thinks once a cheater, always a cheater. Because there's reasons people cheat. Just depends on what your reasons are. Like if you are a cheater because there's nothing better than pee than new pee, that goes for men and women, then okay, you probably always gonna be a cheater because you don't know how to pass it up. But if you cheated because you're immature and you've grown up, okay, that's a little scary. But it's a step up. If you cheated because you weren't in a good place in your marriage, and there's a lot of things that happen in marriages that are toxic and hurtful and break people, that break people and have people in very desperate moments and making very poor decisions. So, that can happen to a person. To me, that's forgivable, right? That's, if we can talk through it, that's a forgivable. Cheating is a forgivable offense in my eyes anyway. And that was before I had known what it was like to be a cheater. And once I had my own walk in that realm, I realized, first of all, I ain't better than nobody else. Everybody's capable of everything. And I understood my headspace. And so it gives me compassion for people. So I wouldn't say, if a guy told me, yeah, I cheated, I'd be like, red flag. No, I want to understand more. I'm curious about it. What do you think is different? What do you now need? Because you needed something. And if it's a large amount of pee, then okay, you not my dude, we friends. But if it's something else, right, it's workable. So I appreciated him, and her mom fell in love with him. I think her mama was like, oh my God, tell me about her. She was. Dad was like, it's her day. What you doing? Which I thought was cute. And I liked what she was asking him, because if you got a center, depending upon what you believe, and her being a pastor, I'm not a religious person, but I do have a relationship with God, and I think it's important that the person do, because that will be their North Star. That will keep you. You might make mistakes, but you ain't just gonna be a dirty dog, right? Or you gonna feel convicted. There's somewhere in there that's gonna get you when you do bad. And if you don't have that kind of integrity about you, and it doesn't have to be related to God, but that is a center for me. And so I think that's important. Now, the question she asked. Let's see. So I'll be done with Donovan. So Donovan won cool points. I like him. What shocked me, though, was Paul and Dakia. I did not think they were going to walk off together, but I thought Dakia was going to be the one to make that call. I didn't think Paul was going to do it. Okay. But I feel like both of them had a rough go on the show. I feel like both of them, I just feel like Dakia if I were Dakia, I would have probably self-eliminated myself, because she's been emotional since the Clifton thing. I think just like, how is this happening to me? I'm misreading things or giving off the wrong, and while Paul, I do think they are a good match for each other compared to the other guys that she kind of liked. I just think would they pick each other in a different circumstance? And I think they both probably think they probably wouldn't. And so I thought it was great that give myself some more life. Great that he chose himself, but I wasn't expecting him to do that. I thought he would have. I thought she would have did that. So
okay,
yeah.
All right. Well, let me go in on this whole situation. Now, let me say, Cliff, stand-up dude. He is a big creative with the signs and everything like that. I knew this, I said this last episode, and it was funny because as I was watching the show, I was like, I said that. He's a touchy feely guy. He's going to need that physical touch. He actually said physical touch, which is what I said last week. So I know I'm on the mark at some point. And he pretty much validated that. And yeah, that's going to be a problem for them. That's going to be a problem for them. Like we said last week too, they got to have a new understanding, right? Even if Joy said, you know, do what you're gonna do, just don't tell me about it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear about it. I think even that's workable. But the only issue with that is whoever Cliff end up with, they probably gonna start feeling away. And they probably gonna start feeling like his girl. So he's gonna have to be open with whoever else he, part times, so to speak. Because you can correct me if I'm wrong, but some women get pretty emotional when you start being intimate with them. So they're gonna have some ownership in this show or not. Yeah, I know you was on the show, but I'm here now. You know what I mean? And they're gonna start staking their claim, and then that's gonna end up being a problem. But I think that it can work, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. So
I don't think they'll start there. I think the fact that they love each other, I don't think he will start with the openness. I think it'll have to be something that evolves with them over time, because it's new. It needs to start off strong. I just don't. If they get to that place, I don't think it'll be out the gate, because as they in there acting with each other, I think Clifton is going to try really hard to make it work, because he loved Joy.
He do.
And he's not, and because he's in, and I think he's also, and I don't want to use the word emotional because it comes with negative connotation, but I think he is in touch with his emotions, and he's open with his emotions. And so I don't think he would want to be sleeping with somebody else initially, because she do it for him. When she come around, he get butterflies, he get nervous. Like, I don't think he's gonna go straight there. There will have to be something that they evolve over time as they build their trust. Because I feel like you got to have trust to even embark on something like this.
Well, here's the thing. If I'm going by the whole RTL franchise, not just this season but other seasons, they don't seem to have a high ROI, so to speak. A lot of them just don't last. As a matter of fact, I don't think I can name one couple initially that came on the show that's still together, that chose each other. And I say that even though this is my favorite couple, I can't, with this hurdle to jump, I can't say that they're gonna make that happen either. Like, if they were together, I would probably say it's going to last. But with the history of it all, I just don't think that it's going to work the way that it is. Now, you may be right. I don't think they're going to start off with that, with their being their intention of, let's just see if we can, make this work a different type of way. I don't think they're going to start there. I think Cliff is going to give it a shot. He's going to give it maybe a month or two, but you got to keep in mind, this guy been on TV. There's a lot of women who probably attracted to him. Some of them going to be in his DMs, or he may even see one publicly, that recognize him. No Joy is out, you know what I mean? Overseas, or not overseas, but South America somewhere. Or in Puerto Vallarta. But it's going to be like, I know Joy is out of town, but this, that, and the third. And Cliff gonna have I wouldn't put it past him to have a weak moment, especially since touch is his love language. You see what I'm saying?
It's
So
interesting that that you only talk about what's gonna happen with Cliff. Joy is gorgeous. Joy has a banging body. Joy
Joy
got a man
does.
too,
Now
right? So
here's the thing. Joyce said if something goes wrong, it ain't gonna be on my end, and I believe her. I believe her.
I'm going to say I think that they both will have a challenge. I would think they both have a
I
challenge.
yeah. It's
She's
gonna be a challenge
just
regardless.
as gorgeous as he is handsome, and she's a singer, right? And she's got this personality, and to me, she's got a more magnetic personality than Clifton does. And so, I know what she said, and that's cool. I just think they both will have a challenge. And I
Yeah,
just
like I
noticed
said,
talking
it's gonna.
about Clifton as if she's like
Well,
she's a
she's not immune to it.
the nun.
She's gonna have her fair share of guys coming at her too. Trust
Yeah.
and believe. I guess maybe I'm so team Joy. I'm team Joy and Cliff. Let's be clear. But when she said it's not going to be on her end, I actually believe her. It's not going to be on her end. I'm not saying it's not going. I'm not saying it's not going to be hard. It's going to, or it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, given they're both going to be challenged during this, I have a feeling that, because I know it's his love language, I think that he will probably crack before her. That's all I'm saying. But Joy, as far as attractiveness and all of that, yeah, she bad. She bad mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever. I mean, it seemed like every time Cliff come around, she just break out in laughter and she's just laughing all the time, having fun all the time. Again, there's nothing negative to say about Joy. Nothing negative to say about this woman except she will be away for half the year. That's the only, and that's a big one. That's a big one, because it's almost like you got to go through Joy withdrawal. I mean, she's like a drug that Clifton is hooked on right now, and you want Cliff to go cold turkey. I mean, I know they're gonna send each other off in the best possible way, right? They're gonna get that fun time in, but that's gonna be that's gonna be part of the drug. And now I got to go without you. It's like, oh my goodness, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough. But I think Joy is a joy to be around, to everything. And I think that when she says, it's not going to be on her end, I believe her. And I'm actually rooting for her. I'm actually rooting for both of them. But,
But just say rooting for both of them.
Rooting for both of them.
I'm like, you killing me your negativity about.
I'm not negative at all. All I'm saying is I still feel like they should try to work out a new agreement and arrangement, because that can make this process easier. It's going to be hard cold turkey. Okay, Cliff is hooked on crack right now, and you just take the crack. You gotta do this a different type of way. You can't just take the crack. He gonna go crazy. So, I'm rooting for him. My favorite couple, no doubt. But looking at the RTL past, this is just as big as any of those, and even they didn't last. So we'll see. I mean, Donovan and Aisha couldn't really. It couldn't go much more than a month.
Last season, because you said Donovan.
Yeah, last season. Dante and Aisha. They couldn't go more than it seemed like a month without Dante, and his girl is there. So imagine Cliff and his woman is gone. Dante got a lot of attention from women on the show, and he's been smashing 50 going north. Like,
see, he's one of those guys that I talked about.
Right, new P, right? I know. I know he
just
is
like it, right?
he is
So
one of those guys, and I get that, and I'm not saying that that's Cliff, but at the same time, he's a man. He's a man. So uh let's I'm staying positive, okay? I'm staying positive. I'm
you
still rooting
sure?
for
And
him.
I was in this love zone. You killing me with it. You killing me.
I'm not killing you with it. I'm just
Okay, you
being
supposed to be talking about the
realistic.
women anyway.
Yeah, I know, but since this is the last episode, I thought I'd talk about both this time. So, um, on to the next couple, which is Donovan and uh Carmen. I think that, listen, I'm not buying it. I'm gonna be honest. Just not buying it. However, I still really like Carmen. I know a lot of women don't like this woman, but it's not a whole lot not to like about her either. It's funny because when she was like, they show her when Sabrina left, she was like, oh, and who was it? Sabrina and Dimitri.
Mhm.
And when she heard Dimitri was gone, she was like, oh, Dimitri. And she was like, Sabrina, oh well, whatever. She
Carmen's
is
not a girl's
such
girl. Carmen's
she
not a girl's
she's
girl. That's
not.
why women don't like
She's
her.
yeah, exactly. She's a
And she's
guy's
competitive,
girl.
and she don't need to be competitive. If
She's
she's such a bad bitch, just worry about yourself. Like she's a hater, and I just don't think you don't.
Okay,
If you go
you
bad,
probably
you ain't gotta
expressing
do
what
that.
you probably expressing what a lot of women feel about her, that she's a hater. I don't really take her as a hater. I take her, well, I take her as a competitive woman against other women. But she did that whole I was married now. I was married now. What movie was that? Was that
Color Purple.
Color Purple? Yeah, I thought that was. Yeah. She said she got that from her favorite show or something like that. I was like, you married? Wow, that's a big step.
I know.
That was a bit much, but smooth by Donovan by doing the whole trip anywhere you want tickets. Dope move by the brother. I almost felt like you got those tickets to sell her on it when he didn't really need to. But then it was like, oh wait, let me hear what you got to say first before I, offer it.
Yeah, she was gonna say yeah
She was gonna
anyway.
say yes, but he put that as a little cherry on the top to make sure she said yes. But it was still a smooth move. Me, I would have waited for the answer, then I would have offered that, but that's just me. But I still would have got the tickets though. I still would have, wherever you want to go in the world, I still was a dope move. So props to him for that. Some might say that he's still salty because Sabrina handled things the way that she did, and he kind of settling. Do you think that for Carmen?
I ain't like neither one of them. So he probably is, but I never thought Sabrina was gonna pick him anyway. I just didn't. I don't know what he saw.
Yeah, you thought she was gonna pick Dimitri though.
I did. I didn't think anybody had a shot but him, because if she did any chasing, he's the only one that got it. She didn't give anybody. I didn't feel like she gave any other man any strong consideration or look or signals. I just don't think she did. She just didn't shut them down. There's a difference between somebody not shutting you down and somebody reciprocating. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was like, I don't see how none of y'all think she liked you, because she really didn't reciprocate. She didn't show interest to me. If I was a man and I felt good about myself, she didn't show enough interest. But I think he was upset with her, but I think he also saw how she moved. Mm-hmm. And I do think the men on the show were friends, and I think they talked. And I think they compared notes, and he figured some things out about her. And
why do you feel that?
Because I follow Laverne on Instagram. That's the only person I even watch. But I can tell who's friends.
Yeah.
I can tell who's cool with each other. And those guys are cool with each other. And so I would imagine that they compared notes and realized, she told me, she said the same thing to me. She's saying all telling us all the same thing. Or I could see her being that kind of girl to just.
All right. Well, let me tell you this. This is the scoop. I did see an interview of Sabrina, and her and Donovan share something off screen. Now, she said it was a kiss. I think it was more, but I wasn't there.
During the show?
No, off camera.
Like
her and Donovan hung out. There were no cameras around, and they shared some intimacies. Okay. Now, for whatever reason, Donovan went to Dimitri and said, "Yeah, man, we did this." Now, Dimitri. Now, Dimitri got pissed about it, and he stopped talking to Sabrina for a while. And that's where they're disconnected.
Isn't that allowed? They're allowed to date other people. So
yeah. But he didn't feel like she was being totally honest with him. Dimitri didn't, because she didn't. And she was like, "Look, why should I tell you how close me and Donovan got? You're not my man, this, that, and the third." Where she has a point. But Dimitri was like, look, yeah, but, I was ride or die with you day one, and you doing this stuff with him, and you not, and I got to hear about it from him. I don't feel like you keeping it real with me. You seem to be playing games. At least that's what she said. Dimitri felt the way about it, so he just stopped talking to her for a while, maybe a week or something like that. This is why when they came back together and started talking, and with the whole meet my family, she said, we ain't in that space yet, because Dimitri told his family what happened with her and Donovan.
Oh, so yeah, I wouldn't have did that either.
Yeah, so she was like, I don't want your family putting me on blast on national TV about what I did with Dimitri. So, but she didn't say that in the scene. So it started to make sense why she didn't go meet his family. And she like, we not in that space. Like, you remember what happened or whatever. So that's why she didn't meet the family. So
I couldn't go on this show. I just realized that, because if I'm allowed to date, right, unless they tell me no touching below the waist, no, unless there's a clause and we all signed in blood, we ain't gonna do certain things. This is an unfair situation, because if you're dating multiple people, they're not gonna know what you did Thursday with person A and what you do on Sunday with person B. They shouldn't know.
You probably shouldn't go on the show.
I just said that. That would be bad.
Because the guys would be talking, and
they'd be like, now they probably still would be. They would vote me off though, because the quality of what they was getting. I'm just joking.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't vote you off, but. But that was the thing. It was just, it was a situation where, people talking behind scenes, intimate times were being had behind the scenes.
That's foul too. You shouldn't be talking about that.
You shouldn't. And you know what? That's on Donovan.
Yeah.
That's on Donovan, So I was kind of surprised by that. Now, what he told Sabrina is, don't tell nobody we've been this close. I don't want my daughters seeing me in this kind of situation. But you go and tell Dimitri?
Well, that's a Carmen move. So maybe they are supposed to be together. That's a Carmen move for sure.
Yeah. Dimitri, Donovan kind of took an L on that one, because he shouldn't have opened his mouth about that. That should have been between him and Sabrina. You don't kiss and tell or but
Interesting. That might make a
especially
lot
on
of
that
things
show.
make more sense, right? Like when Sabrina and Donovan had that conversation, it did feel like I missed something. Like I missed the
Yeah, that's why
episode.
they're. But here's the thing: that after that their encounter or whatever it was, that's when he met her at the table with an attitude, because she was still looking to pick Dimitri even after their
Yeah.
encounter. So when they met at the table, it was like, that's why he said your actions ain't lining up with what you're doing.
Makes
You
sense
see what I'm
now.
saying?
Mhm.
And yeah, and that's why she was like, yeah, I know, all in code, she was saying, yeah, I know we did what we did, but I'm still looking at
I mean,
him.
the process requires me to keep dating, right? Until I
Yeah,
choose.
yeah, but he
Maybe
like,
he thought that she was gonna choose him because of
yeah,
what they've done together.
yeah, he thought you like that ain't how you moving, you know what I mean? So
She just
so yeah,
doing cool points for me. For me now, I'm gonna have to
what?
friend.
Yeah, yeah, well,
First of all, we grown,
yeah.
and until we circle yes, it's all fair
Cliff
game,
style.
huh?
Cliff style, circling yes
Right.
on the card.
Until you ask me and I say yes, we free agents to do what we do
Yeah,
at this.
yeah. But listen, okay, there is some points behind. Like, first of all, you don't kiss and tell for Donovan. But
Right.
second of all, so how Sabrina was moving is kind of puzzling. Why would you go that far, do whatever you did with Donovan, but still be looking to choose Dimitri? And
Mm.
if you are feeling Dimitri more, why didn't you just do all of that with
With him
Dimitri instead of Donovan?
because I think
And
Donovan gave her more attention than Dimitri did.
yeah, but even so, then are you saying Donovan didn't meet some kind of expectation, so you're looking to go to Dimitri now? Was it an afterthought, or was it a before thought?
Huh?
You see
What
what I'm
if? See,
saying?
I saw it a different way. I see it like how men see women. There's a woman who got a nice body. To me, Donovan got a better body than Dimitri. Dimitri's skinny. Donovan's thick, got the muscles and all that. What if she's like, man, he fine. I want to see this dude naked. Like, I just want to touch him. I just want to feel it. And after she got that, then but her heart was always with Donovan. But and also Donovan is not proactive with her. I mean, not Donovan. Dimitri
Dimitri.
wasn't as proactive with her. Donovan is smooth. He rubbing on people's legs and he flirty. Like he is. You're going to be attracted to this man because he's confident and he in a cool way, not in a Laverne way, not in an obnoxious way, but in a what's up, girl? You pretty. Put your leg right here, right? Like, I mean, kind of like Carmen. And so I think just like what happened with me as he was on the show, I'm like, I ain't look at him hard enough. Let me look at him again. Right? Like, because he is he got a little something. So I'm not saying that's why she did it, but I could see, women feel that way too. There's just some men you attracted to. And maybe the sparks weren't there, like you said, that she thought, but she was curious enough to let it go far.
Yeah, just how she was moving is just puzzling to me, because maybe she was attracted to Donovan. Maybe they intimacy wasn't meeting up chemistry wise with her, so she said, I'm gonna focus more attention on Dimitri. And Donovan got salty by that. Like, look, that ain't how you moving.
Could be. I mean, because if I was a woman, I was gonna say, if I was a woman, if I was a man and a woman, we did some things. I mean, I don't know how far they went, right? And you felt a little used afterwards.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you would like if the roles were reversed. Yeah.
Yeah.
If a guy, kissed or smashed a chick and then he started focusing on another woman, you're gonna feel a certain type of way as a woman.
We should at
And
least have a post-mortem on what the heck just happened. I mean,
yeah.
help me close the loop on the situation.
Actually, I've seen those situations happen in real life, and the woman was like, "That ain't how you was feeling last night," or something like that. It's like, so it's kind of weird to see the roles reversed a little bit, but
Yeah.
I mean, the same way you would question the guy, you got to question Sabrina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but getting back to Carmen, I do think I dig her. I think she's a cool woman. I think she is going to make a great wife one day to some lucky guy. Her parents did, the whole religious thing. I know that's important to her mother, and possibly the father. I mean, after all, the mother is a pastor, right? So it makes sense. The father was like, I know you ain't gonna cheat on my baby, and that's when the father started coming out. I don't blame him. I would have asked all those questions too.
Yeah,
but
right.
One thing I do admire is that he kept it real. He didn't try to hide. I almost felt like Donovan wanted to try to get that out, to try and get rid of that. Like, I'm not, because I that's my mentality too. Let me just get it out there so I don't have to deal with this later. You know what I mean? So he just told the parents, like a lot of guys wouldn't have told they prospective woman parents that he was cheating. They wouldn't come out with that information, especially day one.
Not the first meeting, no, right?
Not the first meeting. You meeting both parents too, and it's like, that's so. I commend him for that. One thing I'll probably say about Donovan is he seemed to run his mouth on a lot of stuff. About him. He's almost over transparent, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't have said that. I would have probably said, like I said, I would have said that and got that out too with the parents.
You would have?
Well, I put it like this: I wouldn't have volunteered it, but if it came to be questioned, I would have said it. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm not ashamed of who I am. Everybody make mistakes, this, that, and the third, and especially if it was done under certain situations. I created something, what I call, and this is exclusive to Mike the philosopher. This is my philosophy, right? I came up with a term called a sex trap. All right. Do you just by hearing that term, you know what a sex trap is?
Mm-mm.
All right. Let me explain my philosophy. A sex trap for either a man or a woman is when you're with your spouse, especially, I'm gonna speak on a man's term right now. If you're in a marriage and you're with your wife, right? And, she is not in the mood, but you're in the marriage. Okay. So you can't get it from her and you can't get it from nobody else. You're in the sex trap. Okay. Because you have nothing left to do. Now, if you go out and you cheat on your wife, you're the bad guy. But what if she don't want to give it to you, or she ain't in the mood, or she's, menopausal, whatever the case may be, right? Then what are you to do? Now, there's a term I did not make up called, a day pass or whatever.
I thought you was going to say masturbation.
Yeah, but you can't do that forever. Okay.
You're saying a woman is not in the mood, so you're saying this is a forever kind of thing. Or are you saying this is once a month? I mean, you got to be
A lot of
Because
men
what
are
you're
in
talking
a lot,
about sounds long term. It don't sound
yeah,
like.
a lot of men are in sexless marriages. They are.
Yeah.
And they're in what I call sex traps, because I mean maybe there's another word to use, but that for right now that's my term, sex trap, meaning they can't get it any other way other than masturbation. Now what masturbation, I can't believe I'm talking about this, but
Well,
anyway,
don't talk about it.
well, but no, because I need to explain this. um that doesn't do it for men.
Mm.
Okay, it's almost like it it's a microwave dinner. Okay, it's not a 5-course meal. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't get the men testosterone levels up because a woman is not in the place. Okay, it's a utility, but it's not a big deal. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, that's the situation. And men don't like to be in those situations. um I don't think Donovan gonna have that issue with Carmen. Carmen is seems to be a very um free woman, I should say.
Yep.
And that shouldn't be an issue. Will they last? I don't tend to think so. And I'm not even sure for what reason, other than I think Donovan is going to be a guy who's probably not ready to settle down, especially after the show and after the season. He's going to get more attention. He's going to get more DMs. He's going to get this, that, and the third. And he's going to be on his Dante. Okay. He's going to be on his Dante. He's going to be, ain't nothing better than some new, you know what. Okay. So for that reason, I think that that's not going to last. But I can't even really say I'm rooting for them, because I do think that Carmen needs a guy, but a guy who's ready to settle down, because I think she's at a point where she's ready to settle down. Don't think Donovan is at that point yet. And that's just, I mean, you don't go from Sabrina to wanting to marry Carmen.
He
I
didn't
just,
say. I don't think he said he wanted.
no, he didn't say he was ready to marry her. He just said he's going to take her for a trip. But she's talking about I was married now.
That's
But
her.
yeah, but at the same time, I'm just thinking that he's not in that mental space. He's he's gonna get more attention from more women, and some of them probably gonna look as good as Sabrina. So, and I think he seems to be easy to stray for me right now, and I ain't even mad at him, especially since he got out of a marriage that he was probably in the trap, sex trapping. He was probably in the trap.
Can I offer a flip side to your sex trap?
All right, go
I
ahead.
know a lot of people in sexless marriages. I know a lot of women who are not happy with how their husbands
Okay.
because they don't.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate that there's so many men that think they bring in the fire in the bedroom, and they're not. And all it requires is to slow down, be humble enough to ask some questions, and figure out what she like. Because a lot of times a woman is not going to say, I got a headache. I don't really have a headache. I just don't want sex from you. She's not gonna say that. She's gonna say, I got a headache. She's gonna say, I'm tired.
There are.
I'm just gonna tell you, because you're speaking from a man, and I'm speaking from the women that I know.
Okay.
They are not happy with what they are getting at home. Their husbands are not doing having floor play. They are not spending time in the areas where, because most women are clitorally stimulated, and you just bending her over is not what's hot. And so it takes some time to figure out what your woman wants. And we also evolve, women evolve sexually, right? And so what you was doing for her when she was 20 isn't going to work for her when she's 40. So it does take a little relearning your woman's body and what turns her on and what doesn't. Um, so I'm just offering that. So everybody want their free pass, but the reality is she might not want it from you either because it's not pleasing her.
Right. And there are a number, like I said, there are a number of different reasons for that. I mean, sometimes even one party, mostly women, but one or the other party will use sex as a weapon. Okay, it happens. They'll use sex as a weapon, and they will withhold just to get you to obey or whatever the case may be. So like I said, there is a number, different reasons as to why you're in a trap, but a lot of times, that's why people stray. Look, at the same time, she could want somebody else. She could, and like, ain't nothing better than some new D sometimes.
She could, but most women, because I know for me, when I was married, it was the same. It was the same 10 licks, the same 20 pumps. It was the same. I mean, it was clockwork. It was not different. It was not it. And I got bored. And I had little kids and I was still nursing and I was bored with that. And so that's just my little plug for, before you think she just trying to control you and playing games with you, take a second, check in and make sure that you haven't lost that connection with what pleases her.
Okay, well, I'm like I said, there's a number of different ways to be in a trap. I mean, you're sticking on this. She's not happy, and okay, let me ask you this: if a woman is not happy, do she normally flip the script herself?
No, what happens?
Or is she just waiting on him to do and change everything?
Yeah, the history of Black women and sexuality is we are not taught to be sexually empowered. So she probably isn't going to say, baby, not that, that's too hard, do it like this. She's not going to say that. I know I didn't feel confident enough to say that because my mom didn't empower me, because we come from the you promiscuous era. So that's where the new generation, they figuring out what they like and they going after what they like, which is great. In our generation, that's not how Black women are brought up. So she won't tell you. She doesn't feel, because she taught you please your man. She ain't taught figure out what please you. Did you realize that somebody banging on you, it don't feel good? Like nobody told her.
So the man is to be telepathic.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you what's really happening is that we're dealing with women not being socialized to be vocal about what they need sexually. And then I'm not saying the man got to figure it out, but maybe check in and make her feel.
If she won't say nothing and he don't know, well, how would he know to change anything if she's not saying?
If she telling you, if you feel like she faking, if you feel like she don't ever want it when you want it, to me, I would be curious if I were the man. I wouldn't just go and be like, she trying to control me, I'm gonna go sleep with Sally. I would want to understand if I love that woman and I want to rekindle that, right? Who wants to live in a sexist marriage? That's no good. And try to understand what's happening. But I know that takes vulnerability on a man's part. Because I know in my marriage, I told my husband what I needed. And he didn't accept that very well. He didn't take it very well at all. So then if you respond to me negatively, I'm probably not going to bring it up again. Right.
Right. But
it's culpability on both parts.
It is because men are very logical creatures, but we suck when it comes to emotional intelligence. Okay. And we can't read minds. We can't pick up on cues as good as women. Okay, that's y'all's superpower. Ours is logic, but y'all's is emotional intelligence. We're just not going to know if you don't say something, because that's just how our minds work, you know. So yeah, both parties are culpable, but it is what it is. All right, on to
Your
Dakia
favorite
and
girl, the woman you the hardest on. I feel so sorry for Dakia in your eyes.
Dakia and Paul. Let me say this. Shout out to Paul. All right. Shout out to Paul for standing his ground. You know what I noticed? A lot of women love when women turn men down on TV. You know that?
No.
Listen, there are a
No,
lot of
people
women.
don't like Sabrina because she turned 3 men down on TV. How you
I
say
know,
that?
but a lot of women love that. A lot of women love that. And last Sabrina, you know how many cheers last season Sabrina got for
I
leaving
wasn't
him
mad
on the
at her because
bridge?
dude kept telling dude he wasn't being consistent with her. Now she did tell him that he
Walter
was she
did an
didn't feel
interview
like
that was total bull as far as he was concerned, because he,
of course that's what
but
he
but
I
he
know I heard her tell him,
well, I'm
right?
not saying that he was, all in, but I mean, he said he did have a busy schedule, but he did make time for her, and he didn't see no effort on her end either. But I'm the woman, you got to chase me, so, and I'm not understanding of your schedule. That's
No, but you
irrelevant to
know what?
me.
Sometimes though, let me say this. Sometimes there's a timing problem, right? If his schedule is so busy, he ain't got time for love. It ain't about being ready. You don't have time. If you can't make a phone call, if you can't check in from time to time, you don't have time. It's not a priority to you. And so for
well
her,
well but
she,
here but here but
that's all
here's the
she could go on.
but here's the thing though. That is a valid point. I will give you that. But at the same time, if you're talking about a guy who's worth his salt, who's doing something, probably high six figure or considered high value man, you got to live with that. You got to try to
You
make
actually
time.
don't. But
You
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 don't
don't
actually have to,
but
right?
but
So she
but
chose
but
not
then
to.
go back to Pookie and Ray Ray, because they got all the time in the world, right? And make it
There's a
work
man
with them.
that's
They'll love
retired.
you.
There's a
They'll
man that's
love you, but
retired that got money
they won't.
and got that busy, right? There's a man out
Then you'll complain that they not making enough money and they not enough men in that category. It's like a lot of times men can't win. If
No,
we are
that's
super
not the case.
ambitious, if we're
That's not
super
the case. If he was pursuing a different woman, she would have been fine with it. But she pursued a woman that's just as busy as him, and she made time for him and didn't understand why he couldn't make time for her. Because that would be me. I would say, I'm so sorry. This is a priority thing. This is not a busy thing. I'm busy too. I'm a single mom. You're not gonna tell me nobody's busier than me. The reality is I'm not a priority to you. Fair enough. I don't have to sign up for that. Period.
And that's the thing. She can go back to Pookie. Pookie got
You
all
don't
the
have to go
time.
back to Pookie. She could
Sure,
she
she
could wait
can.
for the man who
He got all the
finds
time in the
her a
world.
priority. She could wait for the man that finds her a priority.
I
That's all.
oftentimes I hear women who are, and I just seen a interview just before we did this podcast. I seen an interview of a woman who was tired of her man, and he was working. She was a stay-at-home mom. I mean, he could afford to take care of the whole house, but he had to work a lot, and she got bored because he was working so hard and left him and the two kids. And they had two kids together. Now she's looking for another man with high six figures, and he needs to have time for her. It's
Hey, I
some
feel like this. Everybody trying to find they happy. Just because you believe your household should be, I bring home the bacon, put up whatever I'm bringing you, don't mean everybody want that.
I'm not mad at everybody trying to find me happy, but
Because
but
there's some
here's the
people who
thing.
need attention. There's nothing wrong with
I
it.
know. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, hone in on some expectations on certain things. Then You got to a lot of times people don't do the math. Okay, everything is not going to add up. You can't have it all. It's impossible. You got to, if you're going to take one thing, you're going to have to give up something. It just is what it is. It's the law of nature.
Does that go for men too, or is that just
It
a
goes
woman?
for men too. It goes for men too. If you want a stay-at-home wife, then you're going to have to be able to afford a stay-at-home wife. You can't work at KFC and then say, you stay home. I got this. It ain't going to happen. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're going to have to live with that. And if that means she's making more than you, you're going to have to live with that. And it's going to be a different situation relationship wise. But women have to make those same concessions. Oftentimes they don't. They just want it all.
I know most women I know, their husbands make more money than them, and they understand that.
I know, but it's not necessarily just about making money. But what I'm saying is, balance it out. Don't ask for it all, but balance it out. If you do make more than your man, okay. But first of all, don't put that in his face. Second of all, don't have some other expectations.
Most of the women I know, their husbands make more money than them, and they love that about their husbands. And their husbands work a lot of hours, and they get it. They give them the big piece of chicken. I feel like you take one thing and you extrapolate it a lot. I don't see that.
No. I'm not making this up. Okay, this is a thing. This is a thing where people have to be more realistic with what they're asking for. Sometimes it's too much of what they're asking for. It's overpriced. You want your person to be your everything, and they're not. I don't care who you are. They're never going to be your everything. The closest you can ever get is to be with someone and you have accepted their shortcomings. Your job is to determine what shortcomings you can handle and work with that. But you can't be asking for everything.
She can handle that. So what's the problem? She did what was right for her. This lady you're talking about.
No. She had what she wanted, but she divorced.
Listen, you can't determine for her. You don't know.
No. Because
story, right?
here's the thing.
You don't know the nuance of all the stuff that was involved. And again, you bother me.
Tamara, she was. I heard what she was asking for.
Okay.
She was asking for too much. Okay, she was asking for too much.
Sure.
She wanted.
I know a lot of guys
she wanted.
You're not bringing it either.
Yeah. A lot of guys ask for too much too. I'm not saying it's just a woman thing. I don't even know why you turn it into that. I said both parties. Because it's a fact. Both parties ask for a lot of times they ask for more than what they can handle. It goes for the men too. Okay. So don't start. You be taking everything personal. This is not personal.
I'm not.
Okay. Okay. Well, good. Well, that's good. That's great.
It's really great.
Let me express how I want to express. I sat and I let you express whatever you wanted to express. Let me express.
I didn't bag on men.
I told you I'm not bagging on women. This is for both parties. Okay. I said that a couple times. You just take everything so personal.
But what you go on about is women.
But no, I don't. I did it for both. Okay. So let me get this out. Okay. Now let me get back to Dakia. All right. I think it's good that, first of all, I think it's good that Paul did choose himself, because oftentimes, like I say, it is the woman, and even you were expecting Dakia to do it. You were expecting Dakia to do it, okay? Not me. You were expecting her to be the send home person. And oftentimes it is the woman who sends the guys home. So I get it. But
some of the stuff she said, he never said that he was on the fence. She talked more about, is this just a friendship kind of thing? Are we trying to fix something?
Right.
He didn't say a whole bunch of that. So that's the reason I thought.
Well, Paul got some emotional intelligence. He could read the room a little bit, and he's seen how she was moving, some of the things that she would say, and the family and things like that. So he read the room. And I think that Paul would have liked to be with Dakia, but I think he don't think she's ready. That's why he chose himself. Totally get it, totally understand it. Not for nothing, Paul may be more attracted to her mother than he is to Kid. I don't know. He was like, oh man, her mother
She
fine.
looked just like her to me.
She did. She was an attractive woman. She looked relatively young too. So, and mom came out with some hard questions like, what's your credit? Like, whoa, that's a bit intrusive to me, but if you ain't got nothing to trip about, you ain't gonna have no problem answering that question. But I I don't know. I would think that Paul and her mother would make a good couple. Maybe he should check her out, because I think the Kia is gonna be looking for somebody else anyway. So, and Paul kind of has more of a, I don't want to say an old spirit, but he just have a very mature spirit. So, and Dakia probably looking for something a little more young and fun type guy, like Eric was. You know what I mean? So I think that for that reason, maybe he should pursue her mother instead. I don't know, but good for him for choosing himself, and waiting for her to be because men need to know they value just as much. I mean, women seem to have a good handle on knowing they value, but men oftentimes sell themselves short, and that's a trend that's starting to correct itself a little bit. But shout out to Paul for that. Shout out to the kid too. I don't blame her for not choosing Paul. If that's not your guy, that's not your guy, and you're entitled to do that. You've went through the process as much as you possibly could. Y'all met each other day one, and y'all ended up on the show last episode with each other. And if you ain't feeling it now, you ain't gonna never feel it. It's just as simple as that. So they made the right choice. I think there's somebody else. So go look for that person that's best suited for you. And you might want to keep your mother away from Paul, because that might blossom into something. But I think everything kind of happened as I sort of expected it to. There was not any major surprises in this finale. Let me ask you this: what is some of the dirt you think gonna come out in the reunion?
I saw a little bit. I knew Laverne and Precious were gonna kind of have it out a little bit. Because of what he had learned that she had said. So that's gonna be something. I hope I kind of want to know what happened between Eric and Dakia. But I'm not sure that they're gonna get into details about that. He did, I think Tommy asked something about misread her. So that I would love to just have that conversation. If anything, I want to know about this background is that. I don't care about the rest of it. Because I think there's a lesson
of what he did, or
what he did, how it all came to be, what transpired between them before. Right? Because I just don't think most men.
You still there? Hey, you know what? You froze up on us. Can you repeat that last part?
Am I still frozen?
No, you good.
I said Eric doesn't come across as a slimy guy to me. So I'm just curious as what was different this day, or what had happened before that he thought could happen again. Because sometimes, right, you can allow something on Tuesday and on Friday it don't work. And what did he misread, or what did she not explain. So that I'm curious about that, but I don't know if they'll get that far because the last reunion was kind of shitty. Like the last reunion, they didn't get it. It seemed like they edited a lot of it. They cut a lot of the conversation out. So I'm not expecting this reunion to be any better because I just got no closure on the last reunion.
What do you think about what Precious was saying about Laverne? Does that change your, so far from what you've seen? I know you got to see the whole episode, but I mean, has your view? I know you follow him on whatever Instagram or whatever. I was going to ask you, did any views of him change for you? But apparently not.
They have, and I just watch him. I haven't said anything to him, but he is self-centered. I know where it comes from, and I don't think he's ready to modulate himself yet. I don't think he's come across a woman he's wanted enough to change. Because sometimes with people, we think we're fine until there's something we want and we can't have it. And then it forces us to evaluate what the whole world has been trying to tell you, what the universe has been telling you, and you only change for that right person. And I think for Laverne, that's what it's gonna take. So I was watching, they had some kind of thing with him and Paul answering questions right before I even watched the show. And you could tell the people just don't like him. Like, he chat too much. I want to hear from Paul. Like, why don't you stop talking? Can you limit your answers to 30 seconds, please, Laverne? Right? And I just think he doesn't know how to allow another person's space in his life. And so in that regard, he's not ready. Because when you are open to allowing somebody to share your space, you create room for them. You create room for them to have an opinion, for them to have a response, for them to have, and I just don't see him
feel what they feel, express themselves, and he just stubborn.
I mean, and sometimes you don't let people have space because you don't like them, right? You could just not like them, but you're very, and I think because of where he came from and what he's been through, he's had to overcompensate that ego that way. And I get that. That's why I think another person who he really values is the only way I think he'll change. Because he's so attractive, he can still get away with it. He gonna get away with being like that for a long time. Just like Sabrina is too. She ain't finna change. I saw something,
and I thought
put on social media, people dogging her out. She like, I don't care, right?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't dated enough men and turned them down enough. Sorry, y'all ain't hurt my feelings. So.
Yeah, she was married before for a long time. She got married pretty young too, so she probably don't have a whole lot of dating experience. So she's probably not ready for love either. I mean that might be what she wants, but I think she's trying to experience as many not in that way, but I think she's trying to experience dating as much as possible now, and getting her healing through dating now, and getting the attention that she looks to want.
That's right, because she hadn't been divorced that long, right? Like 2 years
hasn't.
or so.
Actually, she's been divorced less time than Donovan, which tripped him out. Like, you questioned me about, am I ready? Are you ready? Because your divorce is newer than mine. So
I think if people have to, and I know when I got divorced, I knew I had to go through my phases, of reconnecting with myself first, forgiving myself, figuring out what was my fault, what was his fault. I knew I was gonna spend money like an idiot for a year. I allowed myself to emotionally be a wreck, right? And do things that I might not normally do. And then along the way, I met some really nice guys, but I was not ready for them because I was still in wife mode. But I actually didn't like them that much. I just didn't. And I wasn't capable of liking them very much because I had so much healing to do. And so, people have to honor that.
Is it fair to say it was healthy selfish mode for Tamara?
Yeah, it was go figure. And that's when I figured out who I was sexually. Because when I was married, I didn't know who I was. I knew something wasn't working for me there. And then I learned that that's why, for me, because I need that connectedness, that's where the criticism came from. That's where, I don't even care what you're doing comes from, because we're not connecting. I need that validation through intimacy. And so for future reference, if a man's his appetite and his view of physicality is not similar, I'm not even going there, because I've learned who I am and what I need. And so that's where a part of it is, you might say women have high expectations, but some people just know because if I get with you and you are not meeting my needs, I'm going to be not a great person. I'm going to be insecure. I'm going to be whiny. I'm going to be grumpy. Nobody's going to be happy with that. And so if I find it's not working, I should walk away. Right. And for me, when I see it up front, I walk away. Like, I'm not even gonna waste your time.
And I get that, but I guess my point is you can always find a reason to walk away, because you're not gonna ever all have it all. So you could pick what you don't have and say, oh, like you could be with and I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about in general person. Okay, so let's take it away from you. But let's just say a woman, right? Blonde hair, blue eyed woman. She's with a rich guy. Everything she wants. She got access to the credit card. She do shopping therapy. You know what I mean? This, that, and the third. She's the talk of all her friends. She's among her friends. She's that chick, right? Social media banging, gets a lot of attentions and all that stuff, right? But her man ain't there as much. He's making money. He's going to find that to complain about and find a way to, if she's married, divorce him and say you were never there. There's always going to be
somebody who gets married to somebody for them not to be there, though. Like, to me, that one's an extreme. Who would do that other than a woman that's a gold digger? Like, who would actually think that would make her happy? Would that make you happy? If you got a woman, would that make you happy?
This happens.
I know, but I'm saying, unless the woman is, because I know women that is their value. They ain't missing their husband. As long as bills is paid, they can spend money. They are happy with that. There are women like that, and there are other women who actually want to spend time with their man. Some women actually want to spend time with their man, right?
Some want to spend time with them. Right. Well, that's when it comes to, and I'm not saying people can't be happy in situations, but oftentimes the people who are the happiest are people who expect or come to terms with the shortcomings,
And everybody can deal with a certain mix of things, right? Everybody is not built to handle all.
Everybody's not built the same. But what I'm saying is, like, okay, take that same chick, and she knows her man is out earning money. He's not there all the time, like you mentioned. She knows that. So him not being there is not something she's going to beat him over the head with. Mm-hmm. Okay, I have that understanding about him. I know that he's a hard worker. I'm not going to trip off of him not being. That's the couple that stays married. So, but what I'm saying is, people need to realize what they're okay, the shortcomings they're okay with, and make it work, and not try to ask for everything. Because that one woman who will be cool in that situation, you put another chick in that situation and she would divorce because she didn't look at what she could and could not deal with. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes people do get married not knowing what they can and cannot live with.
We
And that's
don't,
what
we
it
don't,
boils
I know
down
I
to.
did. I got married at 27 and I married my best friend, but I didn't know what I needed and he wasn't what I needed. I needed somebody that was going to support me and let me fly because I had so much to I can do a lot. I'm very, very efficient. And he held that back. He tried to suffocate that. He wasn't comfortable with it. So whoever the next man is has to be someone that's like, this woman is passionate about certain things. I got to support that. Otherwise, I'll suffocate her, right? And so, but I didn't know that at 27. At 27, I married my best friend. I didn't know who I was going to eventually be.
Some women say you should go through a 403 phase. I don't want to say the word.
Oh, yeah, that's why I used to say I would encourage my children not to get married until they're 30, because if they're in my house today, 18, they go to college for 4 or more years. Like my son, I don't know how many years he's gonna be in school, and then go travel the world, go learn to spend your own money, right? And then you know a little bit more about yourself, and you can pick.
But then it becomes tricky because you kind of get caught up in your own life now. If you that independent, then you may never marry at that point, right?
Because I got married at 20. I got married at 26, which I thought was pretty old. Right, I finished school.
I got married at 27, so.
And I still didn't choose right because I didn't know me. Yeah. I didn't get a chance. I remember my aunt said this. She's like, you don't go do what the rest of us did. Go and learn to spend your own money, buy your own house, go enjoy yourself first. Because when you get married, you're gonna have a baby. And we did, 4 months in, had a baby. That was it. No more enjoyment until they get out the house, right? Mm-hmm. And so I would encourage people to take some time to get to know you. Some people are lucky though. They meet that person and they ride out together, but that is rare.
Yeah.
That is rare. That's the exception. So you know how to pick for you if you know you. And when you go from your parents' house, you don't know you. You know who you think you are, but you don't know what you need. You don't know what matters to you yet.
I think a good marriage is an interdependence or a healthy codependence on each other. If you're codependent and you will never wear out your value to the other person. But if everybody is independent, then everybody don't need each other. You see what I'm saying?
So you believe because somebody takes time to get to know themselves that they become independent? That's not what I was advocating for.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that that's what your stance is. I'm saying that's what mine is. Like, to me, someone who's so into their independence is not a person to really be considered marriage material as far as I'm concerned, man or woman. I think the worst husbands are the guys who can do everything themselves. I think the worst wives are the women who can do everything themselves, because there is not a healthy codependency. If you think about it, think about the people you know that's married now. They have a healthy codependency on each other. There's something that one party does the best, and there's something the other party does the best. You see what I'm saying? So if it gets to a point where everybody is so, and not only independent but want to stay independent, those makes the worst marriage people.
I feel like you're mixing two different things, right? Because some people can do things on their own. Doesn't mean that those are their strengths, right? I can change a light bulb. I can change my oil, not my oil. Oil. I can change a tire, but that is not my strength. That is a learned thing that I got to do by living by myself. So living on your own doesn't make you independent. It makes you able to take care of yourself. I think every human being on the planet should know how to take care of themselves. Now, where you have your strengths in your development areas, yes, the yin and yang. I've always been an advocate of that. So I don't think being able to take care of yourself means you can't, that you have weaknesses, because you do have them, right? There are things you're not good at. Even though you know how to take care of yourself, you're still gonna struggle with your finances if you're not good at that, or cooking if that's not your gift, right? But you can still take care of yourself. And so I'm advocating for everybody to know how to take care of themselves before they go get.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying not be able to take care of yourself. But what I'm saying is, even if you're good at that and you don't want to change your own tire, you don't want to change your own oil. Okay, that's good. And you know a guy who is good at that and don't have no problem with that, or even taking care of that. Let him do that. And that way, because at the end of the day, you want a partner to take away some of your burdens, right? Some of your things you don't want to do. And that is what I mean by healthy codependency. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. So, but should everybody be able to take care of themselves? Yeah, but if you know how to do that and you want to keep doing that, you'll make a horrible mate. It just is what it is. But if you're, I know that sounds weird, but if you're okay,
sounds very polarizing. Is what it sounds. Sounds very absolute. You
try to find an issue with everything and point that I try to make. That is not polarizing.
Your language is so absolute. I'm gonna keep telling you, I'm always gonna have a problem with it. You leave no room.
I don't know why. It's not directed towards anybody specific.
You need no room for exception.
Specific.
I'm not even. I know it's not directed towards me. I'm saying, but you leave no room for exceptions, because there's exceptions to everything. If a woman who's independent want a man, she will change for him. Absolutely.
How will she change? How would she change?
Because if she wants this man and she realizes, like, case in point, I know some people, and the guy, he likes to kind of control the food. She likes to control her food too, but she like, you know what? It really matters more to him. I can sit back, he can order food, he can do whatever. That's just an example.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. But that's what I'm talking about. People need to learn how to accept what they can deal with. But guess what? If she wanted to keep ordering the food or making the food or whatever the case may be, it will cause friction. But she let it go. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. You're saying things are like, independent person is going to be a terrible mate. Hold on, that's not fair. I think people who are good at taking care of themselves, who are independent, they can. You're
misquoting me.
Okay.
I didn't say independence. I'm saying people who not only independent but want to keep doing that to and not let up and figure out a healthy codependency. Like your friend, she figured out a healthy codependency, but some people are not good at that and want to keep doing certain things. And then they'll stay independent, they'll stay independent minded, and then they'll complain that they're doing everything. Well, it's like, look, let go of some of that. Okay, I can do that. I can take care of that for you. So that's what I mean. It's not necessarily being independent, but it's just finding out, okay, how are we going to work and how are we going to work together to make our lives easier? Because after all, that's why we're together. I mean, we could stay a situationship and be independent every day, all day, But like I said, if you think about it, the marriage people are the ones who figured that system out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the reality is all of us have our immutable things, and we even will break the rules for the person we want. That's point blank period. There's a lot of generalizations thrown out here, but if it's somebody you want and you see the value in that person, you will change, you will adjust, you will accept them because it is just them that you want.
Well, we're saying the same thing. It's just that you sprinkle sugar on top, powdered sugar on top.
I like people, right? I don't have to beat them over the head and make them
I'm not beating nobody over the head with anything. I'm just expressing myself. I don't got the powdered sugar that you got to sprinkle over every sentence. So it is what it is. But that will be
You didn't answer the question about.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was gonna I thought about that too. But here's the thing. I do think some things are going to come out in the finale. I think Laverne probably did lie. I ain't go front. I think he did lie, and he put Precious' name in that. She didn't seem very happy about it. Called him narcissistic. Like, why you put my name out there and darn well I didn't say nothing. So Laverne gonna look like a bozo when this is all said and done, but it is what it is. I mean, you don't lie on what you don't lie on what anybody said, but he needed to make up somebody to put it on just so he can have some. It was actually probably one of the producers. He probably didn't want to say it was one of the producers that told him that. Yeah, and he said it was her, but either way, I mean, too many guys running their mouths about things they shouldn't be, and that's kind of how I'm feeling about the situation. Question about this reunion is probably about, I don't know, 2-3 months out. Is Cliff and Joy still together?
Yeah.
Do you think
that'll be interesting? Did I see her? No, she was there. They were sitting close.
They didn't show much about them. Huh?
They were sitting close to each other, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly.
They do that all the time, and they be mad at each other.
All right. So we don't know. Now, oftentimes, and this is the last question, oftentimes a surprise couple will hook up. I mean, we already know about Ace and Tyrone from last season. Is there a surprise hookup that you can see happening? Or let me ask you this. Is there a surprise hookup, or is there somebody that you want to hook up that wasn't seeing each other before?
So I was thinking maybe Carmen and Eric, because Eric always kind of liked Carmen and she always kind of, so that one, if that happened, that wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
Not that I wanted, because I didn't like the way she was behaving, but let me see. I wonder if Sabrina actually liked somebody else on the show. I'm trying to think what if I could pick a guy, who would it be? But
nobody.
At time, I think she
went through all the guys. She went through. I mean, if she picked somebody else, I actually wouldn't respect her if she picked another guy. No, she don't need no guy on this show. Period.
I would love to see if Dakia would have found somebody, because I think of all the people ready to love, I think she's the most ready, even more so than Joy.
Wow. Okay.
I think Joy fell in love with Clifton, but the fact that they have this long distance thing and knowing it's a concern and still going to do it, right? Makes me think she wants to be ready to love, but she may or may not be ready. Because sometimes we want stuff, and I know I've been in that place where I want a relationship. I do. I want what all my friends have, but when it gets down to the sacrifices I got to make, I'm not ready to make them.
Yeah, I would like to see Paul and Precious work it out. I think that's probably going to be his best bet.
She was kind of young though, right? Was she? Maybe she. I just got this. She seemed young to me. I feel like Paul needs a more mature woman.
Well, no, I think she just ran her mouth a lot. That could be good for a guy like Paul though, because then he ain't got to talk much. You know,
Mm, fair enough.
she can kind of be a mouthpiece for both of them. But uh, I'd like to see them revisit it. Dakia, I don't think her guy is on the show, unfortunately. But I
Oh,
would
I
like
know
to
who
see
I would have wanted to see together.
who.
Precious and Tori. I like them
Oh,
in the I like
okay.
them and I would have
In the
I
beginning,
thought they would have been a good match.
yeah, I could see that too. I could see that too. So we'll have to see about that. Yeah. So we'll see, I guess. But any last words?
No, I'm good.
All
I
right.
don't have any.
Well, thanks for joining us. Hit the like, share, and subscribe, and we will catch y'all for the reunion. Peace.
Bye.